So I'm at the doctor's office today, and uh, the doctor asked me, "So how's dialysis going?" And I told her, "Well, I enrolled myself into the home hemodialysis program, so I'll be doing dialysis at home." And she immediately went in to say how happy she was for me, and how she thinks it's such a great thing, and it's so good that you're doing this, and just the tone in her voice and the way she, like, the emotional response that she had to it was one of being happy for me, and one of you know thinking that this was some sort of great achievement. You know what I mean? Like, I've noticed a trend with a lot of doctors that like actually care about how I'm doing, is that whenever they find out that something small happens with a dialysis or kidney disease, they make it seem like it's some great accomplishment in my life. Like with this home hemodialysis thing, like everyone that I've spoken to so far makes it seem like this is just some great accomplishment in my life. And for me, I don't view it that way. I gotta do all of this just to stay alive. And I'm looking around at all these other people in my same age group, accomplishing all of these things, like making real accomplishments, and I'm constantly told that you should be happy that you're on dialysis, and that some people they didn't get a chance to get dialysis. Okay, that's unfortunate for them, but how does that impact me and how I feel on dialysis, and what kidney disease and dialysis has taken away from me? That doesn't minimize the impact on me. People just say that so that way they can just tell you to just stop bitching and complaining, because your situation could be worse. And that is true, your situation could be worse, but it's not worse. And what's happening to me still affects me, even though there are people going through worse things out there. That still doesn't diminish like the hardships that I'm going through. And I see people putting in way less effort for maximum rewards for life. And I gotta do all of this just to stay alive. And that's literally what it is. Like, you'll get people involved in this world that'll try to make it seem like this is not a big deal. But without dialysis, if you have kidney disease, you are in end-stage renal failure. Without dialysis, you will die. It's not an opinion, it's a fact. Without dialysis, you will die. I'd like anybody watching this video to stop a moment and think about that. Think about the magnitude of what that means to somebody that has to do this. Think about the magnitude of what that would mean for you if you had to do this. I have to hook myself up to this machine in order to stay alive. Right? Now, aside from all like the outside influences as to why you're doing it, I'm talking about like the act of doing it itself. That's what I'm referring to. It doesn't really matter where you're doing it, whether it's home or in center. Dialysis is still dialysis, and dialysis is terrible. Like, it's always terrible. It doesn't matter where you do it or what form it is, it's always terrible. Me being good at dialysis is not an accomplishment for me. Now, I have my ideas of what accomplishments are for me, but me being good at dialysis or me being on home hemodialysis is not one of them. And you try not to compare. You really do. You try not to make yourself feel bad by comparing your life to somebody else that you know that's accomplishing all of this stuff and that's feeling good, and they don't have any restrictions on them, and you want to be happy for them, and you don't want to compare, but you always do. You always do. And you look at them, and then you look at you, and then you look down at these tubes sticking out of your arm, and you can't help but think to yourself, what? Why did this have to happen? Where did it go so wrong? Like, man, I could have been where they're at right now, but I have to constantly stop to do this. I constantly have to make time for this. I constantly have to sacrifice and give and give and give and give to this, just to do something that a lot of other people around you are just doing effortlessly. And that's just living. Just living. Just simply just waking up in the morning, going to work, coming home, and not having any restrictions. There's no world-shattering events that are going on in your life where you need a machine to keep you alive and all of this stuff. There's none of that, you know? You just want things to be easy. Now, it'll never go back to the way it was, but you just want things to be easy. And you know it's not ever going to be. Now that you have this thing, now that you have kidney disease, it's always going to be something. Now, I'm not saying that you should put value in the accomplishments of others and try to strive in your life to accomplish the same things that they do. What I'm saying is, I have my own things that I want to do. And I just want to have the strength to do those things to fulfill my life and to make me happy. And right now, I am not happy with dialysis. I am not happy with kidney disease. And in my life, I am not accomplishing the things that I want to accomplish. And this kidney disease, dialysis, it just makes everything 10 times more difficult. Being on dialysis doesn't make things easier. Having kidney disease doesn't make things easier. It makes things more difficult. And if anybody tells you that this is the greatest thing that's ever happened to them, or, you know, dialysis is easy, they're probably lying to you.